Hello again. I hope you're enjoying the course so far. I know in sections previous to this video that you learned what sugaring is, why we believe in it, the history of sugaring, and some sugaring terminology. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get the sugaring paste out of the jar, how to form a ball with the sugaring paste, and begin to show you how you will apply it to the skin. So make sure that you have your sugaring paste with you so that you can practice along with the video. Feel free to rewind it if you need to see it again, because it can be a little bit frustrating trying to get it out of the jar. It can string all over the place. Just know that that's completely normal. You can use a wet rag to clean up any sugar paste that you get anywhere. It works best if it's warm water. It dissolves the sugar much more easily. So make sure you have your jar of sugar. We are going to work on getting the sugaring paste out of the jar and creating a ball with our sugaring paste based on the size of the area that we're going to be doing. So whether that be a small area or a large area, I'll show you how to form balls of different sizes so that you can apply and work with your sugaring paste. I'm going to start today by putting on some tight, extra small nitrile gloves. We like to use as small of a glove as possible. Otherwise, your glove will come off and get tangled up into your sugar and it will be much harder to work with. So make sure you have extra small nitrile gloves. So one of the more frustrating things about sugaring is getting the gloves off and on. So once you work with the sugar for a little bit, your hand gets sweaty in the glove. So when you take it off and you go to put a new glove on, it's hard to get it on sometimes. So a little trick that we use is putting a little bit of baby powder into the glove, and that will help it where your hand can slide right into the glove. But don't be surprised when putting on and taking off gloves is one of the most frustrating parts of learning to sugar. Today I'm going to be working with a gentle paste. The consistency is just a little bit firmer and easier to work with whenever you are first starting out. So whenever you are first starting out, to get a ball of sugar, you're going to want to go in and with very light pressure, just kind of start working the sugar up. And you'll see I'm moving my thumb in counterclockwise to kind of go all the way around what's in my hand. And then you can even just scrape up like this if you need to break off that little string. Once I have my ball of sugar, I'm just going to keep working it and counterclockwise to keep it right on the tips of my fingers. If you keep your hand facing down, gravity will help keep it at the tips of your fingers. You're trying to avoid it falling into your palm and getting stuck here. You'll always want to keep it at the tips of your fingers, using that counterclockwise motion to form a ball. You don't have to do too much. The sugar paste will do what it needs to do. You just want to do as little as possible. Again, just as it starts to fall, I'll take my thumb and circle around to reform that ball. And this is a good size ball for underarms. You could use this for a bikini line and any of those kind of medium-sized services. Next, I'll show you how to get a smaller ball out and a larger ball as well. So again, this is something you want to do every day, all day. Controlling the sugar is one of the hardest things to learn, so you'll want to just keep it in your hand and just kind of play with it all the time to really get the control, because once you start doing services, you don't want to have to think about the sugar in your hand. You will get to a point where you just forget it's in your hand, and your hand will naturally reform that ball every time that your ball starts to lose its shape. But until you get to that point, make sure you keep sugar in your hand as much as possible so that you can get comfortable holding and forming the ball of sugar. Now I'm going to show you how to get out a smaller ball, something that of this size would be used for eyebrows, upper lip, sideburns, things like that. So again, I'm going to go into the sugaring paste and just kind of pinch up a little bit. Again, using that circular motion to form my ball. I can scrape off a little bit, and then I have my little ball of sugar. And again, just using that counterclockwise motion to keep the ball on the tips of my fingers. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to get a bigger ball of sugar that you would use on the legs, back, chest, areas like that where you need to make longer strips of the sugaring paste and ribbon it along. And so I'll show you how to grab one of those balls. All right, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna scoop up as much as I can. And I'm just forming that ball as I pull it out. And this is the size of a ball that you would use for legs, back, chest, things like that. And as you can see, this paste is a little bit softer in consistency. When you work with big strips and big areas, your sugaring paste can be a little bit on the softer side. During training, if you have just been playing with a ball of sugar just to work on control, I recommend just scraping the sugar back into your jar since it hasn't went on anyone's skin. It's only touched the glove. You can put it back in your jar. That way you can practice with it later without wasting so much sugar. Whenever it's time for you to get a new ball of sugar or you need to dispose of the sugar that you have in your hand, you are going to kind of tuck it into your palm and you're gonna pull your glove out and pull the sugar in, and then you just pull your fingers right out. Sometimes with these bigger balls of sugar, they're hard to get out. And then you just dispose of your glove and get a new glove and then do the exact same thing we did earlier on how to get a ball of sugar out of the jar. Because you get a new glove every time that you go in to get a new ball of sugar, there's no risk of cross-contamination. A new glove goes in the sugar every time, and the old glove with the old sugar gets thrown in the trash. Another trick I like to show my specialists in training is the wet paper towel trick. You're gonna get a paper towel wet and you will just practice spinning it around on the tips of your fingers. This will help with that control and getting the mobility of your hands. Whenever you are holding a ball of sugar, it takes a lot of delicate agility. So just make sure you use that technique whenever you don't have a chance to have sugar in your hand.